Now, let me just introduce everybody and then we'll get started with our speakers. Let me see what the order is here. Starting this way, if I can do that. This is our first speaker is going to be Picus Berger, who's a member of our board. Picus has spent almost his entire career since 1971 at the Jewish Board, Families and Children's Services. He's now retired and was on the planning committee for this forum. Next to Picus is Vivian Cologne. And Vivian had raised, Vivian was on our board of directors until last year and had raised with us on a number of occasions the need to have this kind of NASW to address these issues in some way. So Vivian was an inspiration and an instigator for us organizing this. And Vivian works at Plaza de Sol, the Division of Urban Health Plan in Queens. And as it says here in her biography, longer than being a social worker, Vivian has been an English as a second language instructor for the past 10 years. And on Vivian's right is Myrna Noble, a member of our board of directors, and Myrna is with the Puerto Rican Family Institute, Inc. And a few years ago, NASW honored Myrna as an emerging social work leader, and the reason that she was nominated for that role was for the work that she had done in helping people pass the exam. On Myrna's right, to your left, I'm sorry, is Holly Fancher, who's now a member of the board of directors of NASW, and is a licensing specialist for the Silverman School of Social Work at Hunter College. And Holly was a member of the work group organizing tonight's event. And now I got it correct. So on Holly's left is Mark Miller, who's a licensed clinical social worker who's with Lehman College, and in addition, being a coordinator at the Academic Support Center, works with a lot of the students at Lehman in being able to deal with the issues of the test. And we're very pleased that Mark has been co-chair of our LGBT committee at NASW. A lot of people connected to NASW, another reason for being a member. And on Mark's left is Hillel Hirschbein, who's also at the Jewish Board, the Families and Children's Services. And what's remarkable about Hillel is that he's had a whole career working with Princeton Review and helping people across all kinds of professions preparing for their licensing exams. And at the Jewish Board, he's helped people who've struggled with the exam. And I understand the Jewish Board has a particular service that's not just for their employees, but for people to be able to come in from the outside as well. And on Hillel's left is Ella Harris, who's is currently on our board of directors, has been on the board for many years. And Ella is in private practice and has been serving as the interim co-chair of the Chapter's African Descent Task Force. And I can probably see, so. On Ella's left is Aminda Heckman, and let me just check where you are now. Aminda has been very involved in working with Fordham and providing licensing prep workshops to the students here, and has done some overview sessions at Columbia University in the past year. She's currently full-time faculty at Mercy College and an adjunct faculty at Fordham University. And Aminda has been co-chair of our Asian American Social Work Task Force. And on Aminda's left is Shirley Pena, who's also at the Jewish Board and has a tremendous amount of experience helping people prepare for the exam, and also was an emerging leader honored by NASW. I'm glad you could get here. You're right on time.
Thank you.
And I want to just introduce one or two more people who aren't up front. Dawn Hall Akbar is here. She's the leader of our licensing test prep workshop. She's over there, and she came in from New Jersey to to be here with us as a resource person. And there are also some other resource people here from various schools of social work. Renee Lindenhauer from Fordham, and Courtney, just trying to remember your last name. Is it?
O'Mealy.
I can't hear you.
O'Mealy.
Courtney O'Mealy from NYU is here. I don't know if there's any other resource people. But having introduced everybody, I now want to ask Pecos if you want to come up here or speak there and give us some perspective on the evening. Thank you.
Good evening. On behalf of the Planning Committee, I want to take a couple of minutes to frame the focus for this forum and to welcome you. We are all aware that there are a myriad of issues, questions, and concerns surrounding licensing. Beginning for some with the question of whether licensing is even appropriate for social work, to the language of the statute, to the way in which the New York State Department of Education has interpreted the language, to the exam, the content of the exam, the opportunities of taking the exam in languages other than English, the span of who among social workers should or should not be asked to participate in this process because of the focus of their particular practice. And those are issues that the chapter, in concert with the New York State chapter and in coalition with many coalitions, has been addressing. It's been the focus of previous teach-ins and forums, and will be the focus of future gatherings, and will provide opportunity for all of you to participate in advocacy to make the changes that make this a better fit. And that's another reason to become members of NASW, New York City chapter. But tonight is very specifically focused on the current and near-term reality. And that is that for any person who identifies as a professional social worker, taking and passing the exam in order to be able to continue to do so, and in some instances, in order to be able to continue to be employed as a social worker, rather than as a case manager or as something else, requires the taking and passing of this exam. And that alone is pretty anxiety-provoking, as Bob suggested. And so what this evening is about is the opportunity to do a couple of things. First of all, is to hear from the panelists who have been involved in assisting people like myself and you to address this issue, some formally by being leaders in test prep programs, and others informally by adding to the benefit of a test prep program through more informal means that have helped them and their colleagues and friends to succeed in passing the exam. It is also an opportunity for you, in addition to what we've learned from the survey, to share with each other what your particular and collective challenges may have been, and to hear from each other how you think you can help each other. And lastly, it is an opportunity for those of you who are here because you're concerned and interested in lending support to your fellow social workers, to share and to let yourselves be known, so that following this gathering, using our website and the board that will be and the email addresses that we have gathered, you can link with each other, whether it's as being alumni of a particular school, whether it's in a borough that you live or work in, whether it's because you share other interests, and come together in a variety of ways, support groups, mentoring, tutoring, etc., as you're here, so that everyone here and everyone who's not here tonight, but who is confronting, taking the exam, will have the absolute maximum opportunity to succeed. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to just clarify something. We are videoing this forum, and the camera is focused on the stage, basically so we can pick up what is being said by the panel members. The video is not focused on the audience, because we don't feel that we have any right to include anybody else than the panel members in the video. We want the video to go up on our website for people who could not be here tonight, so that they can access and benefit from what we're doing here. When we have a question and answer period later in the program, the mics are situated so actually you will not be in the frame of the video. So we don't want to pull anybody out for being here and making anybody visible when we haven't discussed that with you or gotten your permission. So we're doing it that way. The program is fairly tight, and we want to be able to stick to the times. I think everybody in the program has times here so far. We're doing well. And we're asking all the panelists to stick to the time. If anybody goes over, we will remind you to wrap up. And we don't like doing that, but we will, just so that we can keep going through the program. There's a lot of people who have important things to say, but we also want to get to the questions and answers around 7:50. We can go to 8:30 and try to answer everybody's question. So the next